Dear friends, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'd like to take a look at one of Funbox series on the Vulnhub. I will put the link in the description section below so that you can download and play on your own. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. So now, let's get started. We can head over to Kali Linux. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target machine. The utility I'd like to use, as always, would be netdiscover. Sudo netdiscover. Press enter. Although we can use other choices, for example, like ARP scan, we can use the unmap with SN option to discover IP address of the target. Okay, so as you can see over here, the IP address of the target machine could be recognized as 251. So what shall we do next? We need to perform port and self scanning with a map. To save time of this video, I've already completed before. So now we can get out its result. As you can see over here, I took the options like scene scan, the default script scan, the virtual scan, and then full range port scan. The last option of all is ON to output the result into this file. So then we can retrieve scanning results whenever. From the unmapped scanning results, we can tell that the target has two open ports. The first one is 22, which is running SSH service or secure shell service, and also its version information. Though this version is a bit outdated, 7.6, I don't think we can find any workable or appropriate exploit for this particular version. The second one is 80, which is running HTTP service, and also the version information Apache 2. So I think it's quite clear what are we going to do next. We need to emulate this web application both manually and automatically. Let's fire up the browser or Firefox to perform manual emulation first. Press enter. We got back this default Apache 2 page, and we can scroll down. However, nothing interesting or nothing special from the point of penetration. And we also can check its source code. And sometimes we can get something important from the source code. For example, like hidden directories or files, or even some kinds of credentials. But it's not this case. So next, we can check to see whether this site has robots file or not. So we got one entry in this file, allow enum this box. And we need to check whether this is a directory. Press enter. So not found. So this just some kinds of hint left by the author. Next, we can use the Nicto to perform web application emulation. And because as you can see over here, there's version information, the request header, the robots file, PHP myadmin, and secret. Great. So I think by Nicto, we find two important directories. So the first one is PHP myadmin. So as you know, PHP myadmin is application managing databases. Okay, so here we can try to use default credentials to log in. Root and root. Let's go. But we got an error. So let's go back to copy this directory name. We can copy and paste over here. Press enter. And we got something back, but some kinds of gibberish data. Sherry. So maybe this is the directory, right? We can copy. Press enter, but it's not. Anyway, maybe this is some sort of rabbit holes. Okay, let's go ahead. And next, we can launch the Gobuster to perform directory enumeration. I always use Gobuster to perform directory enumeration. And although Gobuster can support other types of subcommand, dir, this is short for directory, is one of them. Even Gobuster can enumerate domain name, can, for example, find virtual hosts, okay? But I always use Gobuster to perform directory enumeration. And this is written in Go programming language, which has very good performance. And use the -u option to specify the URL of the target, and then the W option or -w option to specify the word list. And in many cases, I will use this word list, Gobuster, although sometimes we need to use different word lists. Even we need to create our own word list to perform directory enumeration. In the end, I use this option, extension option, and I will use, or I'm using the PHP, HTML, TXT, and the back. Again, sometimes we need to put additional extensions, okay, depending on, the information or discovered information in the previous stage, okay? So here, index, JavaScript, we find this PHP. Great, we can copy and paste over here. And also robots PHP my admin. I don't think Gobuster can find anything else. So I'd like to interrupt here. Next, we can access this mini.php to see what it's about. Okay? Here, this is actually mini shell or some kinds of web shell. Fantastic. And even we are given its working directory. This is the root of website, and we can upload the file. And currently there's 3 files. So I think it's very, very clear. It's very, very straightforward what we are going to do next. We need to upload our own web shell. Okay? This one we cannot do very much. We want to, after all, we want to get initial foothold or initial shell on the target machine. Okay, so how to do? Let me bring back the terminal window, and I think I've already got this web shell ready, and you can get it from many different sources. Okay, next we can set up the listener on the Kali Linux, waiting for collection. Okay, so now let's go back to the browser and upload this file. And upload. No any error. Fantastic. So if you click, you get the source code. This is not what we want. We want to the backend to run this script, and then we can get the shell on the target machine. Okay. So how to do? Let's go back, because this uploaded shell.php file is located in the same directory as mini. And so I think we can open new tab to access this uploaded file, okay? Shell, and we can press enter. And now it's waiting for some kinds of response. So on the top, you can check its status. So I think from this state, we can get to know we are successful. Let's go back to the terminal window. Yes, indeed, we have already got shell on the target machine. Although it's not very good, we can use Python to spawn interactive shell. Python 2 is not available, so how about Python 3? Python 3 is there, so then we can import pty. This built-in module of Python. Pty spawn bin bash. Okay, so it's better. And also, I think one of my best practice is we need to define the environment variable term. Then we can clear screen whenever to get a bigger space on the window, right? So what are we going to do next? We need to enumerate the local machine. The target machine locally. So how to do? And again, we need to combine both manual and automatic ways. Okay, so how to do? And we can navigate to home directory, and there's several users. So let's cd or navigate into each of them. Cd gold, the shadow, but we cannot do very much. So how about Harry? So nothing here. How about color? Oh, we got file readme, of course. Now we are reading you. So color is really not a part of this CTF. Okay, so in other words, this is beyond the scope of this penetration. Let's go back to the home directory. So how about Oracle? Nothing here. Sally? Nothing here. Navigate opt, nothing here. var backups, nothing here. Go to www directory, HTML directory, secret. But although there is HT password, but at this moment we do not have permission to retrieve. Okay, next I'd like to upload linpeas shell script to perform automatic enumeration. Okay, so I think I've already got this file or script. This is a shell script. You can know this by its extension. By convention, the shell script will use this extension .sh. So next, we need to upload this file to the target machine. How to do? There will be different ways. For example, we can use netcat. We can use even maybe we can use a queue. But anyway, I'd like to take the easiest approach by setting up web server on the Kali Linux. Okay, Python has built-in, or Python 3 has built-in module http.server. So now we can use wget to upload linpeas, and we need to make it executable, and then we can run it. When we try to make lateral movement or privilege escalation, in most cases, we need to make use of the script to perform automatic enumeration, because it can enumerate or gather information from a variety of aspects, such as binaries with SUID bit, binaries with capabilities. Okay, it's done. Let's scroll up to see whether we can find some kinds of vectors or misconfigurations or some kinds of sensitive information. Okay, let's scroll up. Hashes inside pass-through file. Beautiful. So I think we can copy this line and we can save this hash to file like hashes, and then we can launch the John Reaper to crack it. Press enter because I have conducted such cracking earlier. So we can use the show option to retrieve cached password. Okay, so the password is this one. Very simple. So next, I think we can check to see whether we can SSH to the target machine. But, permission denied. Maybe because of configuration, this user cannot use password to authenticate. Don't worry, no problem. We can go back to this current shell. We can use su command to switch to Oracle. Paste in here. It does work. So now we can have a look at its home directory, but nothing here. Next, I think we can run sudo. And we can run find. This line or this line of command is trying to find any commands which have SUID bit, okay? And sometimes we can exploit such binaries to elevate privilege, but nothing unusual here. Next, what can we do next? Let's go back to the home directory. So the Sally. Actually, the author of this machine has given us some sort of hints. As you can see over here. So the John and Hydra loves only rockq.txt. So maybe we need to use Hydra to crack SSH surface and gold. As you know, in the home directories of two users, Sally and Harry, nothing found. So it would be more reasonable to perform brute forcing against the user gold. And also the color is beyond the scope of this machine. Okay, so how to do? Let's use Hydra and the normal L or lowercase l to specify the username gold, and we can use uppercase P to specify the password dictionary rockq. Okay, press enter. So now Hydra starts its brute force against the target machine. So here I use the normal L and uppercase P. Sometimes if we use the file or word list of the username, in that case we have to use uppercase L, okay? And we need to specify the surface and target IP address or domain name. This is going to take a bit of while, so I'm going to pause the recording. All right, as you see here, after several minutes, Hydra successfully got back the valid combinations of username and password. So now we can check to see whether we can use this password to SSH to the target. Okay, so now we got another shell which belongs to GOAT user. So next, we can run sudo bash history py shadow. Now we can run sudo. So we can run MySQL command without supplying the password of root user. Great. So next we can go to this website, GTF OBIMS, to elevate privilege. We simply copy this line of command and run it here. So from the hash pound symbol, we know we are successful. Next, we can navigate to root directory to grab the final flag. Okay? So I think that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you next. Bye. Have a nice day, please.